The M41 anti-aircraft project is done with the exception of dirtying it up. It just needs dirt and mud, paint, wear, weathering. This started out as an IMEX Tijen M41 Walker Bulldog, picked up a spare hull top and just went crazy. Got a quad 50 unit out of a half track and just started building stuff and adding stuff and everything but the kitchen sink, whatever I could come up with to throw on here. As many buckets and chains and ropes and bottles of wine and tools as I could get on here. There's extra helmets, lots and lots of ammo. Thanks again to Rich Johnson for providing the spare ammo cans. That was terrific. Got spare 50 cals back there. Now, it was originally pointed out to me, sometimes nicely, sometimes not, that these are covers underneath this and they need ventilation because this wasn't the original design. So I decided to make it fully functional. The deck of the the deck itself is a screen mesh and it's functional. It opens up to grant access to the hatches underneath for maintenance. I also added some hatches that I got from the Sherman accessory kit. I think there were pistol ports on the Sherman, but I'm using them as access hatches for like hydraulics or electronics or whatever's under there. One of the great things about a paper Panzer is that it's fictional. So, you know, nobody can tell you that what you've got is wrong. I put on like extra helmets and shovels and just, you know, as I say, whatever I could come up with. I did the mod for the lights on the front of it, even though I realized that the real Walker Bulldog only had headlights on one side. I decided to go and put them on all four. I think it kind of reminds me of a 63 to 65 Corvette Stingray. I don't know, it's just what it brings to mind. I'm going to try to do something about the rear headlights on it, the rear headlights, the rear tail lights. I don't think they're very realistic, and I'd like to change those at some point. I added a camouflage kit. I figure being an anti-aircraft tank, in my mind, I picture this as being really effective against like enemy scout helicopters in the post-Korean War era, that kind of thing. And so there's a roll of camo netting and poles, so you can park the tank and camouflage it and, you know, lay an ambush on the bad guys. Some of you might recognize some of the tools came from like the wrenches from a Panzer IV. Just whatever I thought looked good. Lots and lots of ammo, lots and lots of jerry cans, lots and lots of buckets. This little device here, I'm still not entirely sure what it is, but it just seemed like it belonged right there. Like that was a great place for it to be bracketed onto the tank. You know, obviously I brought down like the tools from the turret and whatnot. Because this tank obviously doesn't have a conventional turret. But it does have a TK22, a Clark, and it does run on the Hobby King $25 T6 radio, which is now down to mid-range of battery power. We'll have to do something about that. Always did have a pretty cool smoke setup. Difficult to add fluid on this. I'm still thinking about that and working on it. Don't know how well it'll show up on the video, but it does smoke really well in person, and in the sunlight it looks really, really good. Just a good effect. I still can't get that darn bucket to hang straight. It's like it's laughing at me, daring me to take it off. But with the TK22, it runs fairly decent. I put in the steel latest and greatest gearboxes. I kept 3 shaft so that I'd keep the speed, but they are with the bearings everywhere and all that, the brand new ones. One problem, can't get the top 2 barrels to run. With the TK22, everything is proportional. It'll roll 360 day after day, no problem. That's how the quad unit is set up. Quad unit was really easy to swap in there. I can see those quad units being used on trailers and all different kind of things. So So there she is, fellas. If anybody's got any ideas for what kind of additional stowage I should add or anything like that, and you know the deal, you know what I like. Any questions, comments, crude remarks, pretty girls' phone numbers, all that good stuff. See you next time.